The sun and the moon, good and evil, are two forces competing for supremacy over the vast, desolate Tibetan plateau. For Buddhism, this struggle is centered deep in the heart of Western Tibet, on a pyramid of ice known as Mt Kailas. Towering high above the surrounding plains, Kailas is the center of the universe, where the Lord Buddha presides over his kingdom. Pilgrims travel for months, sometimes years, to reach the sacred mountain. They undergo untold hardship while circling its base in order to atone for the sins of a lifetime. Lhasa, capital of Tibet. It's from here that the most important of the pilgrim routes to Kailas begins. A ceremony is taking place in the Jokan, Tibet's holiest monastery. Thousands of pilgrims are waiting to be blessed by a visiting Rinpoche, a reincarnated Lama from Sikkim. They bring traditional Tibetan presents of silk scarves. Yak butter is also brought to fuel the lamps which burn continuously in the sunless chambers of the monastery. For most of the pilgrims, it'll be their first visit to the sacred mountain. The journey from Lhasa to Kailas passes through the inhospitable western part of the Tibetan plateau. There are only two main roads in the region, built during the 1950s to carry Chinese tanks following the invasion of Tibet. At an altitude of 13,000 feet, the air lacks oxygen, and the harsh climate creates a virtual desert. No trees or bushes are to be seen, and the plateau is only sparsely populated by nomadic yak herdsmen. A week by truck and 1,000 miles brings the pilgrim to within view of the holy mountain. Directly south of Kailas are a swastika-shaped mountain and two sacred lakes. Together they form a giant mandala, a geometric symbol of mystic significance. At the center of the mandala lie the two lakes, Mansarowa and Rakesh Tal, representing the sun and the moon and symbolizing the eternal struggle between good and evil. The lakes were connected by a river, now dry, flowing from the sun to the moon. Before circling Kailas, pilgrims come to the shores of Mansarowa to purify themselves in the sacred waters. At the base of Kailas, where the journey around the mountain begins, lives a Lama. He has reached enlightenment by circling the mountain 108 times. Now Tachung Jingmei offers prayers in preparation for an expected eclipse of the sun. Rinzit prepares tea. Takchung belongs to one of the few sects which allows lamas to have wives. Tibetan tea is made from yak's butter, dissolved and then churned.
Onda BBC2 Onda Tangambo se Jongala Danzi Chaji Onda Tangambo se Sumju Nin Danzi Namo de Tandaya Dungora Deni Yereme to Torja Nan Jora Sajara Jo Jon Chogun Javani Tembe Tavale Ton Juji Sara La Ragapa Tang Ngote Batar Nidalaya Objalante Chungsuri Shebane Soma Natabe Rongi Bango Shepartishi. Ninzi tati go la dong go ta chu te jiran to da dai ninzi ta chu de le onda jebe cheba ji ni somja zemba bori some hakwa ji gore.
As the sun moves behind the foothills, darkness begins to fall around Kailas. Only the reflection of the new moon lights up the northern face of the pyramid. On the other side of Kailas, the first rays of sun begin to warm the freezing waters of the Bilong River, source of the Indus. A group of nomads gather for breakfast. They've traveled 500 miles from the border with India. They migrate annually between winter lowland pastures and high summer grazing areas. In the harsh conditions, the herdsmen are totally dependent on yak products for survival. Wild yaks have been hunted to extinction, but domesticated animals are kept for wool and meat, and the hide is used to make tents. Later in the morning, the nomads pack their few belongings and continue their journey around the mountain. They are undertaking a rapid parikarama around Kailas to atone for the sins of a lifetime. The 32-mile journey will take them 2 days to complete. For centuries, pilgrims have experienced the same awe as they are dwarfed against the vast scale of their surroundings. As the nomads circle the mountain, they pray at holy sites on the route. 3/4 of the way round, they stop at a gompa, or small monastery. It was here that the Tibetan poet and guru Milarepa lived in a cave for many years, meditating alone and eating only nettles till it said his skin turned green. According to mythology, it was Milarepa who converted the land to Buddhism from Bon, an animist religion. A series of contests with the Bon magician culminated at Kailas. The first to reach the top of the mountain before dawn would win the nation's followers. The Bon magician flew towards the peak on his magic drum, while Milarepa remained meditating in a cave. His disciples were terrified, but suddenly, just before the magician reached the top, Milarepa levitated to the summit. In fright, the magician fell down the side of the mountain, leaving a scar still visible today. Further round the mountain, Zering and his family have nearly completed their pilgrimage. Zuta prepares a meal before he continues his grueling journey. The entire circle has taken him 25 days to complete. Praying constantly, the couple invoke the great mantra of 6 syllables. Om Mani Padme Om, hail to sacred lotus blossom. Through enlightenment, the mantra reveals its meaning, and the Buddha comes to life in the heart of the believer.